Hello there. Welcome to the channel. So today we're actually looking into this case of how the Republican Party or Donald Trump's administration has just turned its back on everyone. I mean, on both sides. That Epstein list is not only an American thing that people are actually waiting for, it's international. Like trust me, I will tell you for a fact. The part Trump said that he's going to expose the Epstein list kind of swayed me a little. Like, I'm normally center, but it kind of swayed me a little bit. The reason why I'm center is because, well, number one, I don't live in America. And on top of that, it's kind of occurred to me that for the time being that I've been alive, pretty much all the presidents that America has had, be it Republican, be it Democrat, all of them pretty much have done the same thing. The only time I've seemed to have found or pretty much leaned onto a candidate in America has been Bernie Sanders. And let's say on the Republican side, I would say maybe Ron Paul or something like that. But you know what? That's here nor there. I'm sorry to say this, but it's disappointing. It's bloody disappointing.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Donald Trump's administration is facing a full rebellion from the MAGA faithful, the most diehards, the people that spend all day online talking about Donald Trump. Some of the president's most strident supporters are furious at his Department of Justice after concluded there would be no further disclosures of Jeffrey Epstein-related documents, and that, basically, everyone should just drop it and move on.
Really? Dude, that's the worst thing you can... Nobody's going to drop this. Now, because I think that it happens that there's people in the Trump's administration camp that actually are implicated. I think also he himself is also kind of implicated. I wouldn't say kind of, but the evidence is a bit too overwhelming that he could be in there. Here's a crazy thing that I actually witnessed. I went on X and I searched Trump. So I get the results, people, Donald Trump. Then on this area here, view all. There's a guy called Morgan J. Freeman, and he has like a whole photos of where Jeffrey Epstein and Trump were basically just together, causing up to each other, as well as the Jeffrey Epstein's wife. That's Ghislaine Maxwell, yeah? So you can see, oh my God, this is nuts. And on top of that, I think both of them were all based in New York for a very long time. Kind of makes this whole situation a bit, how can I put this, interesting. And on Twitter, if you search Trump, that's the only thing. That is the results that you get. That people now are saying or they're insinuating that this guy was definitely in that list. Because, I mean, a good example is how P. Diddy had a lot of videotapes. And I wouldn't throw it past Jeffrey Epstein, considering apparently in the island there was a lot of camera. So there's a lot of footage which was actually taken by the FBI as evidence. How I'm looking at it, I would say there is a ton of footage here. I think the reason why this thing is not being outed or this list or even the footage or some of the evidence is not being presented is because it might actually crush the market if people end up finding out who was in there, and might end up making America, well, how can I put this? It might crush a lot of people's faith in the country. When you realize pretty much everyone you revered or all your powerful people could be in there. At least people from other countries already know they're powerful people as shit. America has a very big thing about... America is very big on hero worship. And I think maybe it started from, I don't know, wrestling days or something like that. Not sure, I'm just assuming. Anyway, let's continue.
This comes after his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, basically spent months hyping some sort of big reveal from the Department of Justice. Epstein, of course, the disgraced New York financier who died in federal custody back in 2019 while facing child sex trafficking charges related to what prosecutors says was a years-long scheme to abuse young women. A new memo from the DOJ reiterates the department's position that Epstein was not murdered. After a thorough investigation, FBI investigators concluded that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in his cell. They even released nearly 11 hours of security camera footage from outside Epstein's cell that night of his...
Wait a minute. 11:58 a.m. to 12 p.m. Where is that? Those 2 minutes. Someone can enter here and do some crazy things. That's enough. Just enter quick, or even poison.
His death. Although that will likely do little to quell the ongoing conspiracies, especially considering the video is missing an entire minute. The DOJ attributes that to a long-standing glitch with the system.
No, not buying it at all.
Despite all the Epstein didn't kill himself memes and the never-ending, increasingly baroque conspiracies, the MAGA faithful...
It's not conspiracy. Like, it's becoming a situation where right now it seems the longer I live, the more I'm starting to realize that a lot of conspiracy theorists, I mean, it's MSNBC. I'm a foreigner and I know MSNBC will never, especially when it comes to conspiracy theories, they will never miss a chance to actually throw in Alex Jones in that mix. Even CNN as well. They have that habit. So I know for a fact that a lot of conspiracy theories, even the whole part where I think somewhere around 2015 I was watching, I don't know if it's Alex Jones or someone else, and they were talking about how the establishment could throw in like a virus to usher in like a new global order. And right now, having gone through the COVID situation, and then on top of that, me interacting with people socially and seeing how people are so different and how the economic situation is so different compared to before COVID, I'm starting to realize not buying it.
Are really mad about this part of the memo. Quoting it here. This systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was no credible evidence found.
Then what are you harping on about? You can't tell me, this is gaslighted. You can't tell me Pam Bondi doesn't know what a list looks like. This is a document. You can't say, where's the list with the names? You say list. Everyone internationally wants a list.
That Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not
Diddy is doing that too, so we know that. And we know Diddy's tapes are there. So you can't tell me Epstein doesn't have them as well. No, you're playing with us.
Cover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Now, that claim that there was no shadowy client list, ostensibly containing evidence that Epstein was secretly blackmailing political and financial and Hollywood elites, certainly seemed to contradict what Trump's own attorney general said on television back in February.
One of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. She did just say that, right? We just heard her correctly. Now her Department of Justice says no such list exists. But again, this wasn't just Pam Bondi misspeaking or speaking in...
There's no misspeaking there. Like, the excuse is absolute trash. What they're trying to do here is they're trying to gaslight people. And I'm actually surprised because normally in such kind of situations, they normally, I don't know, maybe start a war or do some shit or some big shit happens to distract everyone from this case. But no, we want this, man. Nothing they're going to do to distract me from this situation. I'm locked in, man.
Ambiguously, one-off remark. I mean, seriously, 4 months. This has been a drumbeat. She's promised some sort of big revelation from the documents. I mean, do you remember this? Back in February, the White House even held this big event with right-wing influencers sharing a bunch of what turned out to be previously reported in the public domain information. They had repackaged into a bunch of fancy binders, which they handed out to people. And so when the DOJ comes back basically yesterday and says, you know what? Looked at it and turns out nothing to see here. Well, now that same right-wing media ecosystem is absolutely fuming.
The whole thing that this tape shows that he didn't kill himself is like a joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. Like, they're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
Dude, Tucker Carlson has become more of a journalist of late compared to when he was at Fox. He's just a joy to see. I never thought I would actually watch Tucker Carlson's reporting or interviews. I've watched hours and hours of this guy interviewing and also his reports. I never did that before. Clearly, being independent is the way to go.
We all get. Like, they're not fooling.
Especially when it comes to reporting and journalism. This is insane. Hopefully YouTube doesn't get to a point whereby it kind of grows the head of a snake and starts eating or starts doing the same things that most of these media houses are actually doing to try and sway the zeitgeist or what people should believe into what it is that it wants. But I know that's there, but again, good thing about the algorithm is, especially with the AI situation, it might have a mind of its own, which is actually good and also bad in a way. But that's another topic for another day. So no, let's continue.
Anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
So now by coming.
Hey, here's the guy. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. It sounds like a steel chainsaw.
So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
So now by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just you.
They were part of the system. Like, dude, these guys have been part of the system ever since. Trump was a Democrat before and he became a Republican. I just think it was just a case whereby, considering his age, he kind of realized I might be a better fit on that side. Because on this other side, on the Democrat side, at the age of 70, when Democrats already had screwed Bernie out of it, saying he's old and he's a socialist, there is also the other part whereby it was full of young liberal people who were at that point there was a hashtag okay boomer. So at that point I don't think it would have actually worked. So I think he's been part of the system all through and through, man.
Cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. So I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every 2 years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically gonna puke probably right now. This only happens every 2 years when something really, really bad happens or something. And I'm physically gonna puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now because I have integrity. I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this hurts my guts out.
Yeah, again, for me, I say it's the whole wrestling situation. Like, America is very big on hero worship. And the truth is, there's no heroes in this island. And someone coming from Africa, I can say for a fact, like, please, like, welcome. Please embrace shitty leaders on both sides. We sometimes even have like shitty leaders on so many parties which run for election, and they all display their shittiness all throughout the whole administration or the whole period of time. And eventually, guess what? They will shift. Someone will say, hey, I can do it better. And we believe they can do it better. But you don't know what they're saying about what they can do it better. And then later on, once you choose the person and they get in, and then you find out, you mean the bad shit or the bad things, you can actually do better. So I think the system works exactly how it's intended to work at this point. It's not supposed to serve anybody other than the establishment. You can't do much. Both aisles are part of this rotten system.
Do you see what you've done, Pam Bondi? You have made Alex Jones cry and possibly puke, which he only does a few times a year because of how much integrity he has. In hindsight, though, I don't think that those people should be very surprised. As we have said before, repeatedly, this has been a consistent theme of our reporting here on this program. If you were a single-issue voter in 2024 and hating Jeffrey Epstein and people associated him was your only issue, Donald Trump should not have been the candidate for you. Trump and Epstein were friends. Everyone has seen the photos and the party tapes at Mar-a-Lago where they seem to leer at women. And we remember when Trump famously told New York Magazine, I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy, he's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. One of the women at the center of the Epstein sex trafficking case, Virginia Giuffre, who recently died by suicide, claimed that she was actually recruited as a minor by Epstein's collaborator Ghislaine Maxwell at Mar-a-Lago. And when that collaborator was facing trial for sex trafficking, Donald Trump seemed oddly concerned about her.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and so a lot of people want to know she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and so you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her. I guess they lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well.
Yes. I'm actually even surprised he hasn't pardoned her at this point. But let's see. Because, I mean, he can't run again. So I don't think he has a political career after this, considering I think he's in his 80s. So I think this guy is going to entertain the crap out of everyone and anger so many people at the same time. I'm just going to be here to watch this.
Whatever it is, her friend or boyfriend, Epstein, was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck.
Remember that when Maxwell was being tried for sex trafficking and Donald Trump was asked about her, and his first thing was to be like, I wish her well. Used to know her back in the day in Palm Beach, saw her all the time. Now think back to the 2024 campaign. Do you ever remember Donald Trump talking about Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, all the crazy nonsense he said about all kinds of insane internet sewer gutter stuff. I mean, and then there's the JFK stuff and the Hannibal Lecter riffs you would do. He conveniently never brought this case up. And then when he was asked about it, Trump gave this truly remarkable answer.
Americans have lost a lot of trust in institutions. And I think there's been a lot of discussion, especially online and especially with young people. How do we rebuild that trust in institutions? The CIA, the FBI, all those institutions.
You're right.
Some people think that one way to build trust is to declassify things that everyone's talking about. I know you talked earlier about, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. So if you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to this. Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah, I did. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't.
He's a little bit more wordy on the Epstein part. And you know what?
You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others. Certainly about the way he died. It would be interesting to find out what happened there because that was a weird situation and the cameras.
Yeah. We want the list of the clients or some videotape, something.
Didn't happen to be working, et cetera, et cetera.
Epstein, I don't know so much. I mean, this became a huge obsession of.
So from how I look at it, as the lady was saying that people had lost faith in the institutions in America. To be honest, I think if some of the declassified files were actually bought out, I don't think it's even people are starting to lose faith in the institution. People will lose faith in the institution, It's one of those cases where there's a little bit of, how can I put this? There's plausible deniability. And some people do have faith in the institution, e.g., like you still have people sign up to go for military, you still have people who are going to accept to being enlisted. Now, if this list is put forward, my assumption is I don't think people are going to have any faith at all. And I think it's a case whereby this list doesn't contain like a select group of, let's say, old people from, let's say, I don't know, this age up to this age or the case. I think this thing contains old people up to young people of influence. And some of them are, how can I say, employers. Some of them are big politicians. Some of them are people who we might have or we might actually have a lot of confidence in, or we hero worship, as I've said before. And knowing that I'm going to make this pedophile rich or going to work or going to fight or going to die because of this person, it just will absolutely tank a lot of things. And on top of that, keep in mind also CEOs and founders of certain companies are in there, I'm sure. And the thing is, how the heck do you accept to pay rent or your 401ks? And you understand, like it affects a very big aspect of the system. And that's the thing which they're not saying. And I am very sure that even these guys who are basically on our side or on the public side, the news people, the media people, I'm sure this is just basically them talking with a forked tongue. But the truth is, they also don't want this list out there. That's my assumption, or that's my wild take. Anyway, so as much as I can actually cover, and I do not want to continue this video. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe as you're on your way out. And also don't forget to check out my other videos. Thank you for watching. See you then.